Yeah. Okay, open the second one along. It's a bit easier to open. Right, what I mean by diodes. First, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what I mean by diodes, then we'll go on to light emitting diodes. So a diode, is an electronic component that only allows current to flow in one direction. Symbol for a diode is this here, an arrow against a wall. I want you to think about it in terms of an arrow, like that, and a wall. Think about an arrow against a wall. Okay? Arrow pointing towards the wall. Now, current can flow, so current can flow this way through it, but not this way. So it can flow this way, but it cannot flow that way. So thick and across. It can flow that way, but it cannot flow that way.
Where do you see them things? I've seen one of them.
What is it? Why have you not got a pencil? You lost your one and only pencil. Okay, so it can flow right to left there. It can't flow left to right. So it can flow this way, but it cannot flow that way. Now, if you think about it in terms of an arrow on a wall, you can't shoot arrows through walls. You can't shoot this arrow through the wall. So you can't make current go that way. You can't make it go left to right. You can't shoot that arrow through the wall. That's how we remember which way current flows. So if we know which way current is flowing in a circuit, we know that we can't fire that arrow through the wall. We can't let current go from left to right here. It can't go through the wall. It can go the other way, but it can't go through the wall. So, arrows cannot go through walls. Okay, just remember that. Arrows cannot go through walls. So when you see a diode, you see it's made up of an arrow and a wall, you think, what was that stupid rule I made, do you remember? Arrows can't go through walls. Can't push an arrow through a wall like that. Okay, so can't put arrows through walls. Now how does that relate to a light emitting diode? Well, a light emitting diode, in fact, before we do that, let's talk about a wee bit of a recap, talking about batteries, the flow of current. The battery looks like this. Current flows negative to positive. So there's negative to positive. Can't remember negative to positive. You draw your battery, and if you link up the lines like that, it forms an arrow which points that way. Here's the arrow pointing that way. That's the direction of current flow. Create a circuit, make sure your battery's round the right way, or your LED's round the right way, or it won't light. Now, when you're doing your Yenka programs, it shows you the arrows and what it thinks of current flow. They might not be exactly what you understand as current flow, maybe the opposite. But don't think about that, I just want you to make sure you think about it in terms of current flow from your battery. If anyone's confused, they can see me. Because current flow can be different depending on what country you're in. It's a bit like Americans spelling words differently. Americans seem to think current flows in a different way as well. bit confused. Well, it's traditional current flow and non-traditional current flow. But just remember the way ampere.
So why do they think it's different?
I think it's to do with they think of the flow of voltage, flow of energy, as opposed to the flow of charge. And the flow of charge makes it easier for me to explain things to you. Right, so that's diodes. Let's go on to light emitting diodes. Light emitting diodes, so light emitting diode. They're called LEDs. And they look like this. You get your diode as normal. And this time you put two arrows coming out one side, and that's your LED diode. Okay? Okay, so that's a light emitting diode diagram. Like that. Now what we're going to do is, I want you to draw me a circuit diagram including a battery and an LED that allows the diode to light on your show me board. Do that now.